What's the deal, y'all?
What's good?
What up, though?
It's your girl, the Caribbean Chocolate, Jocelyn Navarro.
Good. It's the one and only Ruben Slawlight.
It's your boy, the Prop, Isaiah Broner.
It's the Urban Playboy, Pretty Boy Smooth.
This is the Croc Rocket. Nickelback Poppin'. Curls for all the girls. The Perminator, Sam Bale.
This is the more of Irish strong style. The Wild Irish, Riley Rose.
This is Only One Rhonda, and you're tuned into.
Now tuned in.
You're not tuned in.
Tune in.
Tuned in.
You're tuned in.
Tune in to Marks with Mike.
Marks with Mikes.
Marks with Mikes.
Marks with Mikes.
Marks with Mikes.
Keep it player.
Enjoy the show.
Respectfully.
Now somebody hit my music. Shout out! Hey, yo! What am I doing? Oh my God! Are you kidding me? Did we just see the irresistible force meeting the immovable object?
What's good, everybody? What's good? Hey. Oh, man. This is the Marks with Mikes podcast. I am your host, Dallas Cash, the Stampede, and I am joined by the greatness himself, Mr. Cheech, a Chupacabra. Welcome.
What's going on? You know, Peter Parker got bit by a spider. I got bit by a goat. Let's go.
Let's go.
Once again, another week. Been going for a minute. Back down. Holding it down. JT's down south. Happy birthday to his father, by the way.
Happy birthday.
60 years old. But you know what I mean? We had Dallas been holding it down the last few weeks. Appreciate that. So, it's been a crazy day for those, what I mean? The West Coast woke up early. In the East Coast, we probably finished about an hour ago. But, man, all in London was a spectacle.
It was a spectacle. And before we jump into All In and AEW and everything else, we want to start off a little bit with a little bit of honorary tribute. This past week, we actually lost another WWE Hall of Famer, one half of the Wild Samoans, Afa Anoa'i. And if you know anything about the Wild Samoans or the Anoa'i family, you understand how much Afa and Sika meant, not only to the business and not only to just the Anoa'i family, but to us fans as well. And we want to extend our condolences, me, Cheech, Marks with Mikes, all of Culture Clash Network, the Humble Roses podcast, to the Anoa'i family. Definitely such a tough thing for the family to lose Sika and Afa in such a short period of time. But want to just give our condolences out to the family. Rest in peace, Afa, Sika. You guys have blessed us with such a legacy that it will be carried on for centuries and millenniums. So, rest in peace. So, getting into some other business, we wanted to talk about All In London. And All In London was just, like Cheech said, it was a spectacle. And with it being a spectacle, we knew flat out that there was going to be some surprises. There was going to be some appearances, some title changes specifically. And the funny thing is that Cheech actually was the guy who called me. Cheech called me. It was like, hey, you checking the 0 hour out for All In? And I'm like, oh shit, it is today. I'm like, oh yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to miss the 0 hour. So I missed the entire 0 hour of All In London, but managed to catch the rest of the pay-per-view. That being said, Peach, like, how did the All In 0 hour go?
No, remember I was working when I told you that I was trying to get, but I didn't get here on time. I literally just got in just to catch the actual show. You know,
Okay.
the marathon, but the 0 hour, you know, wasn't able to watch it on, you know, live.
Hey, submissive Jada Omega, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Stay with us though. We're always ready to embrace everybody who comes through here. Good to see you though, Jada. So yeah, we kind of, like I said, we missed the 0 hour match. I heard Stokely Hathaway channeled his inner Michael Jackson. I heard about that. Tomohiro Ishii being as vicious as always. And another thing that we wanted to point out, ladies and gentlemen, that was very important that happened was, got to start with Claudio Castagnoli with the CMLL trophy. And Claudio, this is something that Claudio had on his bucket list from what I remember him saying in prior interviews before, because he had wanted to have that kind of like decorated career with going to all of these different territories and kind of making his name, with the importance of CMLL and with performing all over the world. Like Claudio has just been generational.
Yeah,
And-
he's been a talent that, you know, well respected, and those who know. And to be in Mexico on Friday, then, you know, 2 days later in London, across the country, that's dedication, and that's some gangster shit, you know what I mean? Because they're willing to pay you to have dome appearances, you know. So shout out to Claudio, you know. We'll get into the show, you know. He got more silverware. You know,
Definitely got more where that came from. So
Yeah.
we're gonna jump around a little bit. So there's like just I have kind of like it lined up. So we're gonna jump around in certain matches and just go from there. We'll save the main event for last, obviously. But the first match that I did want to start out with talking about, because we don't really have to go in order. This is our show and we do whatever the heck we want.
Well, I think we should go by order. Why not, man?
Okay, so go ahead. And what was the opening match? I'll let you
I
take
believe
it.
the opening match was the ladder match, the 200 people ladder match. It wasn't the trios. I believe, I could be wrong. I believe was the trios championship.
Yep. So Christian Cage and the Patriarchy versus Bang Bang Gang, House of Black, and the Blackpool Combat Club.
Is it the Blackpool Combat Club and Pac?
And Pac, yeah.
But wasn't they trying to have him in the group prior and
and
diss them? So this is the shit that don't make sense.
the booking, from a booking standpoint, that doesn't really make sense. But if you think about it, I think they kind of just added him to that because, you know, this is his home area and they kind of wanted to give him that feel good win moment. But he was once at odds with them, and now it's kind of like it's almost
but they
like
didn't give you a reason why.
they
You
did
know
not.
what I mean? Like,
They never explained it.
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. They had gotten better at storytelling and, you know what I mean, progressing a storyline, you know what I mean, especially in that main event of this All in London. But you know, of course you had Christian, you know, that he's, let's say, a guru in ladder matches and stuff like that. There was a lot of things going on. The House of Black, you know what I mean, they look intimidating. You didn't think they were going to lose, you know.
No, they were booked very strongly at one point, and I was just kind of surprised that I wasn't really surprised at the result necessarily, but all signs pointed to like House of Black kind of taking the dub. But wholeheartedly speaking, with Pac getting that, Pac getting that hometown win that he was looking for, like, I get it, but what's going on with House of Black? Like, what are we doing with them? Because they seem to have this thing where they look strong going into like big premium live events, and then it's like it's almost like the sting is taken away from them.
I mean, it's only one thing. What's all this hoopla rumor that have been talking that they want to go back to the Fed? You know what I mean? I don't know about Brody King, but that that always been that chatter. You know what I mean? So perhaps is that one that it's preventing them from being booked or whatever. Who knows? It could just be a bunch of bullshit. Then again, they got a lot of people that don't know how to book. You know what I mean? You had Thunder Rosa, you had Deonna Purrazzo. None of them were on a match, I believe. I don't think there was a 0 hour. I didn't watch, but yeah, man. The House of Black, I think they just got 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
From what I know that Malachi Black is under contract at least till 2027, and that's within like the next 2 years. So I'd try to keep him happy at this point and keep House of Black happy, because House of Black is over and they do have a very massive fan base. But again, with the House of Black, Brody, we need to see more accolades come their way, and we need to see them presented more in a dominant fashion. But I don't have a problem with Blackpool Combat Club either, and that's really my take on it. Having said all that
they should have put the belts on somebody else instead of them. I don't know, like they already have belts and shit like that. So I'm pretty sure, like you said, it's just a hometown guy feeling. Just put a belt on the hometown guy. The Blackpool Combat Club, that shit was dead as soon as William Regal left.
Yeah. Hey, some people give factions or trios authenticity, and honestly, you're hitting the nail on the head here. From what I remember, I think the second match was Timeless Tony Storm and Mariah May. From what I remember, I believe that was the second match, because a lot of people were questioning the order of this match. So because this is the AEW Women's World Championship, and I believe it was the second match on the card. So, which kind of bothered me too, because if we're putting the AEW TBS Women's Championship above the AEW Women's World Championship, then someone needs to hold that to give it some authenticity. And I'm not saying that, Mercedes Moné doesn't deserve her spot on the card. Obviously, she's the bigger name. From a standpoint of booking, it makes sense. But this is the AEW Women's World Championship. And this is probably the best storyline that AEW has going so far for the women's division, because more people were way more invested in Toni Storm and Mariah May than they were Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker. That's just a fact. Not to quote LA Knight, but that's a fact of life. Nobody is really invested in the Mercedes Moné Britt Baker match for many reasons that we're about to cover shortly once we get to that match. Now, watching the match of Toni Storm and Britt Baker, wow, that was really good. Not only was it really good, it was cinematic, with Mariah May slapping her own mother. Like, yo, where I'm from, we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? It was ABC style, man. Even though Toni Storm hitting Storm Zero on the steel steps, Mariah May pulling out all the stops and being that psychotic, batshit crazy heel that's going to do whatever it takes to get the championship. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be realistic. This is probably one of the better matches on the fucking card, and there were some really good matches on the card.
Yeah,
The
to
ending
be
of the
honest,
match.
wasn't like paying attention to this one.
Mhm.
The whole, the intro, 1924 and all that stuff was, it was clever, but it was a match that Mariah is from hometown girl, right?
Right.
Yeah, so it was only right. Some people get that gimmick, for Tony Storm or whatever. I think she's always been a great competitor. So yeah, I'm
I got a
just
feeling.
glad that it just it just finished. But the belt, I always seen it that the secondary belts are actually the number one, which is the networks that they're on. To me, they'll put more emphasis on those than the other one.
Okay. I really wanted to talk about the finish of the match because that was something that I was really interested in discussing.
Something happened.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. So Tony Storm had basically busted Mariah May open, and she had the heel in her hand. She had the shoe in her hand with the heel, and there was blood on the heel. But because of the fact that she had cried at the beginning of the match because she didn't want to hurt someone she considered a sister, a friend, the sisterhood was basically strong within it because there was a lot of resentment with Timeless Tony Storm with what she was portraying, and she sold it perfectly well. But she couldn't bring herself to putting Mariah May down finally, even when Mariah was asking her to do it. She couldn't do it. Next thing you know, Mariah May hits the Storm Zero. 1, 2, 3. New AEW World Champion, Mariah May. Come on, man. That was great, in my opinion. And the crowd ate it up because they ate this match up because of the story that it told. And we're going to get more into like this being the better women's match on the card for obvious reasons. But, I don't want to hold you guys up too much more and dwell on it too much more. We're going to get back into it. So what I know, jumping back into the match card, the third match should have been Jericho versus Hook for the FTW Championship.
That's a match that obviously was there to advance Taz's son in the industry, you could say. You know what I mean? But that match should have been on 0 Hour. You know what I mean? Because that shit was crazy. My man looking over here.
Like, Jericho versus Hook was the kind of match that Cheech, did I lose you? Oh, looks like present day Jericho punching his younger self. Did I lose you, Cheech? You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. For some reason, you buffered for a second, so I didn't know if it was my computer or yours. It might have been mine.
Oh no, it's
I'm
definitely
sorry.
yours.
Jay. Okay, then I'm like, all right. It's just like I'm in the JT spot, and like I'm having like problems with my internet. It's like if you're in the main admin spot, you have internet problems. Want to shout out JT's down there in Florida with his family in Miami. I think he is watching the show. I see him down there. Thank you for the comment. Yo, continue to enjoy the show. For some reason, though, what I was trying to say was, I'm sorry, I was interrupting your point. Go back to what you were saying. I apologize. About Jericho.
Oh, that match shouldn't be on the fucking card, man. That shit should have been on 0 Hour, or you know what I mean? Like, my man literally like put that slide back up. It was like, his old self. He was fighting his old self.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I know.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So, all right, listen. Let's just keep it real. I don't really this just seems like I'm bashing. Personally, like, I think Chris Jericho has kind of like lost his aura and what made him special.
I don't think
This is not knock on him, but
I
it's
don't
just
think that's
like-
what it is. I don't think he lost his aura. He lost his looks. You know what I mean? Because he's still the Jericho in the sense of mind and trying to work, but it's just what he trying to put into storyline or something like that. It don't transpire because the way he looks. You know what I mean? It just.
Well,
I'm sorry, you know what I mean?
I mean, to a degree,
age.
I kind of disagree because of the fact that with Jericho, they're worried about like his look. I'm not necessarily worried about his look necessarily. What I'm saying is,
But that's what it
there-
is, because people get confused and they get distracted by that look, and they forget that he's the fucking GOAT. You feel me? Like
Jericho. You're saying
yeah,
Chris
Jericho's
Jericho's the
fucking
GOAT?
GOAT, man.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
My standpoint is that everything Jericho had touched at one point turned to gold, but the learning tree thing has kind of run its course because there's no real like payoff to this, in my opinion, because I don't know. I find it hard to get interested in anything Jericho's doing at this point. However, I do think he is one of the greatest wrestling minds that AEW has. But I think
But that's the thing. We can't let a bad thing, you know what I mean, fucking dictate everything that what he's done. You know what I mean? And as long as people get that right, you know what I mean? Like, just put respect on the man's name. Yeah, this shit sucks. This shit sucks. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Learning shit, but then the storyline and all this shit. But perhaps somebody else on that role might have flourished. You know what I mean? But who knows? But he definitely needs to kind of fall back and step away from the scene real quick and regroup and see what happens. You know,
so
this is not
you're unconsciously agreeing with me, but you're saying that his aura is not off. It's just the ideas of what he's been put into is what's making
to me everything he does is great. I'm just saying he don't look great, man. What we remember him as,
that's what I was trying to get at. But with Jericho and Hook, like, again, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this match could have happened on fucking Dynamite or
no, not even Dynamite, fucking Rampage,
Made Collision. Like, it's run its course. But Hook did obviously. We just lost Cheech. Let me bring him back.
No. Just keep going.
Okay, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we with Jericho and Hook, right? Like, this is not necessarily a time to bash Jericho, because we all know Jericho is one of the greatest to step into the ring. Having said all of that, I think he's better just kind of taking a step back and giving people time to miss him for what he's doing. And I just don't think that Hook should have been stuck in a program with Jericho, because it's not like Hook is going to learn anything, or it's not registering to a degree that it actually rubs off on him. With Taz getting involved and Jericho also submitting and giving Hook the FTW championship, my thing is, let's get Hook invested more. Like what he was doing with Samoa Joe, loved it, absolutely loved it, just because of the simple fact that I like Hook a lot and I just want to see more from him. I feel like he's had the time to grow, but I just feel like him being stuck with this FTW championship, it's like, all right, let's see what more he can offer. I'm not.
Who told you that?
I said.
Who told you that?
So, necessarily speaking, I want Hook to move up a little bit more. I would like to see.
He's believable to you?
Hook, yes, of course.
Nah, that
What makes hold the fuck up. What makes Hook believable?
what?
What makes Hook not believable to you?
What I see, bro.
What do you see?
What I see, like my man, the Samoa Joe, bro. Samoa Joe. You'll eat him for breakfast twice on Sunday, and he's gonna give him a competitive match. It's wrestling, but like to me, that's cruiserweight. You know what I mean? Like he should put some weight and then move up. But like I can't take him serious. I can't. You know what I mean? And what he says here, Jericho and Hook did nothing for me. And
no, it didn't. That's why I'm saying this match shouldn't have been on the card.
But it's literally the equivalent to the 24/7 championship without stipulation. The pointed championship, it doesn't push anyone. It doesn't create new stars. It done nothing for the former champion. The only thing I could disagree with you because they had done something for somebody, and that's Taz. He's getting paid.
Hook is believable to me as a wrestler because of the background that he has and where the pedigree that he came from with his father being the one to introduce like the submission style wrestling into pro wrestling, because it wasn't really a thing until Taz necessarily came out. Even with Barely Legal in 1997, when it was ECW's first pay-per-view, Taz legit made it something of him being believable because of what he represented, who he was, and how he came off. Now him passing that off to his son, it's not even, it's like a spitting image. The only thing is that Hook is a little bit slimmer. But if we're saying that Hook is not believable because of this mindset, because he's not bulked up enough, then all the other wrestlers who have the same body frame as him aren't believable either. If that's what we're hoping,
and that you ain't lying there. But
then why are we watching AEW then? We're watching pro wrestling.
You know what I mean?
Shawn Michaels was not believable. Shawn Michaels, Rey Mysterio, not believable.
You know, you're going. No, you gotta come back.
No,
but I'm saying,
I'm going off what you're
like
saying.
For me, like him against Samoa Joe, it shouldn't. You know what I mean? Like to me, he hasn't paid his dues. You know what I mean? To me, he haven't climbed that ladder and going and getting there. Perfect example, let's say, even though it wasn't in the same company, let's go as far as Lucha Underground, Killshot. Bro, skinny motherfucker, killing it. Look at him now. The first black, you know what I mean, of champion to main event Wembley Stadium. You know what I mean? Like, history. Like, I've seen the growth on that guy. You know what I mean? Like, from skinny. To me, he needs more work. Like, they trying to sell it to you and push him. Yeah, Hook, bro, he got the look or whatever, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? That's 1998 and Sync and all that shit. You feel me? Like, Hook is as believable as Mysterio beating the Big Show.
Yeah, so
you're disrespecting Rey Mysterio by comparing.
Yeah, that's Rey Mysterio disrespect, because nah, man, you don't mess with the GOAT. Rey Mysterio's the GOAT.
Oh man.
GOAT luchador, man. I wouldn't listen. Hey. The Latino community. What the fuck are you
talking about?
The Latino community has already made it clear that there's one of three people you don't disrespect. That's Selena, Eddie Guerrero, and Rey Mysterio. Like, and I ain't got no Latino blood in me. But Cheech will, you know what, Cheech, I'm gonna let you take this one over. Nope, that's not my place.
That's all I have to say. That's all right. Boy, get on my face.
All right, so the next match, I'm trying to memorize it, but I believe the next match that was right after that should have been the AEW World Tag Team Championship, FTR versus the Young Bucks versus the Acclaim. So, like, oh my God. You go ahead with this one, Cheese, because I feel like I have some issues with this, the booking for this.
I actually thought that the Acclaim, the entrance, the people interacted with them. That's one thing about the UK scene. Like, you know what I mean? They into it, So
Right.
the scene, the shot, the way they were shotting it, their entrances, pretty good. The FDR, I believe this is the second year they wrestled the Bucks again. I don't think the Bucks should have won. Because they came out with a Beatles, fucking suits and shit, trying to honor them or whatever, or make fun. Who knows? But yeah, I would have thought that the Acclaim would have come on top.
Yeah.
And, they didn't, so I guess there might be something else down the road, and see what happens, man. But yeah, like the match, I don't know, it could have been better.
It could have been better, and I think that with having the Bucks retain, it just like I get it to a degree, but like, if this is their way of trying to get us to like turn on the Young Bucks or whatever, it's a good idea. But I just don't really see the value of them holding the championship when you've got the Acclaim, you've got FTR right there. The Bucks necessarily don't even need the shit in the first place because of the fact that they're EVPs. And I'm not saying that falters their wrestling ability, but I would like to see the Acclaim have gotten the dub. And that's just where I'm at with it. I'm not really going to say much more about that because I don't know. I've kind of had some Young Bucks fatigue of the last couple of years, and it's been just kind of forgettable for me. Moving on, another match that we want to talk about.
Yeah. So we got here the Casino Gauntlet match. Of course, it was exciting, especially when the placing of this match. So of course, there was gonna be some surprises, But don't get me wrong, man. When I saw Nigel McGuinness pop up, that shit was pretty amazing. You know what I mean? Just like I never thought that he would come back and wrestle, but. Buddy, what a reception for the hometown guy.
And another thing, if Mariah May kisses you, it's going to jumpstart your career. It's going to jumpstart your return. And McGuinness being there, like it just kind of elevated the whole idea of the match, and that was a big moment, even with Zack Sabre Jr. and Nigel McGuinness in the middle of the ring and the crowd like standing up for those two. And I'm like, yo, I think this is a moment that both of them are not going to forget. And I was wondering, with as many times as they've been out there, like, when is Nigel coming back to the ring? Because I think the last time he wrestled was November 26th of 2011, from what I remember. And then now he's back 13 years later. Amazing. And not only that, we got the the rumors were true, and hate to say it, but Ricochet made his appearance, his debut at All In London. I have some thoughts about Ricochet being an AEW, but I'll have to save that for another time.
Why is that?
Well, to go off what I'm saying, the reason I say that is because we all know that the first thing that's going to happen, the first thing that they're gonna build to is basically a match with him and Will Ospreay. I don't know if we're getting a fucking Andrew Tate is all elite. I don't know. I don't know if we're getting like a trilogy between the two of them. Pretty soon he'll probably be in a program with MJF. MJF will probably say, "Oh, your girl, you know, you had to come to another company to get somebody to say your name, but your girl will scream my name without me having to be in WWE." Just something about his wife. And
definitely there's the potential. You got hologram out there. You know what I mean? Of course, the Will Ospreay, it's a matter of time if they're smart. I mean, that's one thing AEW is known for. Capitalize on anything that happened in history. You know what I mean? And they run with it. And Ricochet was on Ring of Honor. He could land there. Perhaps we'll see him on Rampage in a few weeks. But hey, the fact that the boy got a job,
I'm happy for him.
It was expected, but we shall see what happened. But I think everything is lining up. If they keep booking it right, that we up for some good matches moving forward.
I hope that he's treated and championed much better than he was at WWE. That's just my thing, because pre-WWE Ricochet, even the Ricochet now was, and I'd say him and Ospreay were just living video game characters. But pre-WWE Ricochet was just, I can't use words to really describe how amazing and unbelievable of a performer he was. That said,
the thing is, like, it just the restriction they put on him once he goes to the Fed, you know what I mean? But those who knows are aware of everything that he's capable of doing. But unfortunately, we're saturated with moves that perhaps, that people do now. Being you got Vikingo, you got Bandito, even though they, he's hurt, even though Vikingo came back, he should be coming back. Okay, even though people know about him that he used to do it, but like, there's right now people that don't know who Ricochet is. They know who Ares is in this Mexican luchador. So they're like, oh, he's like a luchador, not knowing that he'd been doing it way before that. You know what I mean? So his mic skills never been his best forte. So let's see how they treat him. If they film shit behind the scenes and backstage, hide his fucking weaknesses. And you know what I mean, and enhance what he could do. Put him in matches with people that could be good base for him. You know what I mean? And then sky's the limit for that guy.
We will see. We will hopefully see. After this match, I had to step away, so I came in the middle of it.
But we can't go any further because we got All In, right? The casino. We got people coming out. Yep. Next thing you know, you see Christian coming out. Like, hold on, but he was already in the match. You know what I mean? So right there, it's just, everything started, like, oh, okay, I see. They lost the belt. But, you know what I mean? Christian's a major player. That's one thing. They book him Christian as a dog. Like the dude that he is, that WWE put a leech on in a muscle. You know what I mean? Now he's free in the, in these concrete jungles, and Kill Switch or Luchasaurus? What
Luchasaurus.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, so this thing that happened, even though the surprises and Nigel McGuinness, but who would have thought that one fucking Christian Cage was gonna come on top to set up, everything that's gonna be going. Moving forward, you know what I mean? Because, we're gonna get there, but I'm liking how they're going about it. You know what I mean? The matches, because, like I said, nobody thought Christian was gonna win.
And he just came in and stole it.
Yeah.
So let's actually jump a little bit here, because there is one match I want to kind of get out of the way, because I was thoroughly disappointed in this shit. I was
I
very
mean, you can't get mad at something you already know. So, what's the match?
oh my, this was a disaster class, bro. Like this was the TBS championship match between Mercedes, the CEO Mercedes Moné, and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
What was it that didn't do it for you, sir? What was you expecting?
This was a fucking disaster class. Listen, I'm okay. Let me set up for a second. I've already accepted the fact that Britt Baker, and see, I don't like to use a podcast platform to talk shit about a wrestler because I'm not personally doing this shit. But from a standpoint of the interest factor, if you're talking shit about the NXT women's division at one point, you're talking shit about the 4 horsewomen. If you're being toxic with Thunder Rosa, if you're having drama with MJF, why don't you go out there and fucking wrestle like your life fucking depends on it? Throughout the match, Britt Baker looked lost, bamboozled, uninterested, and she sandbagged Mercedes a number of times. You horribly fucking sold her finish. And at one point, when you had kicked out of a fucking crucifix pin, you looked completely out of character. And you looked like you'd rather not be there. Specifically, probably because you knew, A, Mercedes had creative control. B, you knew you weren't winning the fucking match. So you sabotaged it. And there was
conspiracy theories over here, Dallas?
Nah, this ain't no conspiracy theory. I expect a fucking report to come out about her backstage behavior for the simple fact that Britt Baker has already showed us she's toxic as fuck. If she doesn't, you've already showed us you're toxic as fuck if you don't get your way. You shit on people in the same industry as you. You shit on your coworkers. You talk shit about them. You talk shit about MJF, and he's higher on the card that you'll ever be.
But all this shit is you don't think it's part of her persona? Her character heel?
It's her who she really is. It's who she really is, because it's the simple fact that day in and day out she's been nothing more than a fucking toxic individual who is shit on.
But that's the thing, it's just the people, because from the get-go, I never thought she was a top girl. I never thought that she was it in the bag of chips. You know
she does, and that's the problem. She does.
Okay, but you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, we can't get mad at something we already know.
She's basically bringing down the women's division. Like, you already got Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker being 2 individuals in the division that, like, they're both fucking have big egos. So somebody's ego is gonna get deflated. Hey, Britt, just put my teeth in the bag, bro. At this point, just put my teeth in the bag, because clearly you're not. Your demeanor is unprofessional. And you showed it. Britt Baker, your demeanor is unprofessional, and you can tell that even Mercedes, which I don't even know how the fuck this is even possible, but out of the 2 people, Mercedes was the most professional. Ooh, this is Mercedes Moné / Sasha Banks we're talking about, the most professional out of those 2. But I get it, because she has creative control. You tried to sandbag and sabotage the match. The match wasn't too interesting. People barely fucking popped for it. I think Saraya probably got more of a fucking pop, and she barely got any fucking thing, and she brought her whole family out there, and they didn't even pop for her. But the fans were not interested in this match, and you could tell with the work ethic and the lack of authenticity and the lack of effort that Britt Baker put in. And that's not me shitting on her. It's just that from a standpoint of me watching it, you didn't look like you wanted to be interested because you knew you weren't winning. It's like, I was like, okay, yeah, like, we get it. Like, we know you weren't going to be fucking interested, but you don't have to sabotage the match that a new talent or a bigger name is coming in to help elevate that part of the division. And you even said that you were better than her and Becky Lynch. What? This was your chance to prove it. Nothing. And I feel bad for Mercedes because the match suffered and you could see she was starting to lose interest as well. And at that point, I'm like, just get this shit over and move to the next match. Like, I just get this shit over with. I don't want to see this shit no more. So I don't want to see Britt Baker in a program unless she's actually going to put some fucking effort into what she's doing. And I would never use this podcast to shit on somebody, but the lack of interest was there. The apathetic body language of Britt Baker was so present, and I'm rambling about it because I actually like the work that she does. I actually think she should be one of the top names, but your attitude doesn't reflect, it's not a good reflection of who you are. And that's all I got to say about it. It's fucking ridiculous that I have to put up with watching this.
Hated it.
Fucking hated it. Fucking hated it.
But
All
I
right.
don't really think they working everybody. You know what I'm saying? All this shit. I don't think none of that that's been reported ever happened. But here we are talking about it, so they doing their job.
Do you think that she intentionally went out there and had a bad match as part of a storyline, or like?
Hey, everybody got bad matches every day, B. You know, ask Tangaloa. He fucking champion, my nigga. Tangaloa. Tangaloa, bro. He got a fucking belt, bro.
That's like me saying that fucking Shawn Michaels went out there and sabotaged the 2005 SummerSlam match with Hulk Hogan.
Because Hulk Hogan?
Intentionally because he wanted another match with him. That is not what the fuck happened. What happened was there was supposed to be a trilogy. Shawn was supposed to win the next match, and then was going to have a trilogy. Hogan, at the last minute, said, I'm just going to win this match. Shawn went out there and fucking sabotaged and oversold the match. But knowing Hulk Hogan, he's probably like, oh, brother, he must really be selling for me. No, he wasn't. He intentionally shit on the match by sabotaging it, by overselling. The difference is Shawn Michaels is a top star. Britt Baker should be there, but she's being overshadowed by Mercedes Moné, who came in and basically took the spot that she felt she rightfully deserved. Can we move on to the next match?
Yeah, just let's get over it with. We going to the TNT Championship. Whoa, we got the Scapegoat versus Darby Allin. Came out with fucking spikes in his fucking face. Like, what's going on, bro?
Nah, I like this match, man. I really fucking like this match. I enjoyed this match.
They definitely want to push Jack Perry as somebody.
It's you got to do something with him because getting fucked CM Punk's chance.
What is it about him? Is it his lineage, his father? Which I'm pretty sure that's a major. He could wrestle, but the fact that he got a recognizable father, you know, he has been putting weight, so I think he needs to put more weight because he's in the hook category for me. You know what I mean? But Darby Allin, right there too. You know what I mean? They that match right there, it made sense. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
You know, cruiserweights going at it. You know.
And then what? And then what happened? What did Jack Perry bring out? Oh, real glass, real fucking glass, baby, real fucking.
Oh, baby. Let it go, let it go. You know, but hey, you know, he'll be thanking CM Punk for the rest of his life. You know what I mean?
They were CM Punk chants. They were CM Punk chants.
Yeah.
And it's like,
but right there, but like I said, thanks to CM Punk, he have a resurgence of his career. You know what I mean? So,
Oh,
That's
look at
good for
CM
him.
Punk putting the guy. See, look at CM Punk putting the guy over and giving him some star power on his way out. What a guy! What a company guy! What a guy! Oh, company man Punk putting over stars one match at a time.
Yeah,
and then
the casket. So you got the casket match, and of course, you know what I mean, all the hoopla, and next thing you know, you got the fucking. They're about to set him on fire, right?
Right.
Oh,
and
fire! And one time, lights go off, and we got the one Sting, the man called Sting, Beijing and all Sting.
The icon. The lights went out. Lights came on.
Like,
Sting.
peekaboo, motherfucker.
I did like the fact that Darby was still in the fucking coffin, and Sting kind of just walked by that shit without letting his ass out and just going to the fucking He's just like, hey, fuck it, you in the coffin, I'll get you out later.
You know when he retired, Tony Khan went up to his ear and whispered, "You're doing this till you're 90." Shout out to Deadpool.
It's part of the whole aura of what makes Sting who he is. I mean, this was the only wrestler that I dressed up as on Halloween when I was a kid.
And that's the way guys like that, mask, paint, should be used nowadays. You know what I mean? Their life expectancy could fight up to like 70, 60 if they're booked correctly or used, positioned in a better way. Like The Undertaker, to be honest, he still could do something. You know what I mean? He could just be sitting on some Godfather shit. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna get there.
I like how we kind of have a similarity now, because people like to compare Sting and Undertaker. Obviously, there now is similarities too, because Sting retires. He kind of is like the spirit of AEW, like the ghost of AEW, kind of showing up when need be after he just recently retired. On my birthday too, ladies and gentlemen, Sting retired on my birthday. Wasn't a good day for me. And then with Undertaker retiring, showing up at WrestleMania, kind of being the ghost of WWE, the ghost of WrestleMania, Sting probably kind of filling that role too. I love it. And like you said, he's probably gonna be doing this till he's 90, but it's so believable because we kind of suspend disbelief a lot of times. And like JT said, wrestling sometimes gives him the opportunity to suspend disbelief when he's watching things. And I'm selfish. I want to see more Sting appearances every now and then, but that's really up to him.
No, that was enough. We don't need to see him till next year in Texas, if that.
I think he stays in Texas too.
Oh yeah, there you have it. Like that, they'll be better, but you gotta keep them special. You know what I mean? You gotta keep it like the way it used to be back in the day, type of. You know what I mean? Like you have to, the house shows, but then you only defended the title and shit, appearances. That was great for Sting. You know what I mean? They trying to rub that shit with what the fuck his name is, Darby Allin.
Mm-hmm.
He need to eat more. I don't know, but
needs to get on the same diet Hook needs to get on.
Oh yeah, definitely. He needs to get on that swerve, that skr, diet and shit. But yeah, man.
Jack Perry won.
The match that, let's say, to many might have been the main event. You know what I mean? But for wrestling realists and purists, the title, the main title is the last one. But the AEW American Championship, now Intercontinental Championship, which was before the all this bullshit. But anyway, we got MJF versus Will Ospreay, the assassin, the air assassin. Is that what they call him?
Aerial assassin. Yep.
Aerial assassin.
And he came out with the Assassin's Creed Templars. The Assassin's Creed Templars. in the robes
That
and
was
everything.
pretty dope. That was a good
That was pretty
presentation.
dope. Oh yeah, as a gamer, yeah. Thanks, Will. And I am copping Assassin's Creed this year, so that's a go for me. MJF coming out dressed like Uncle Sam with the Uncle Sam cap and the early 90s WWE Lex Luger look. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. The match, great. And I have a gripe. I had a gripe with Will Ospreay for one reason. My all-time, ladies and gentlemen, look me in my eyes when I say this, my all-time favorite wrestling finisher out of every company that has ever existed is the Tiger Driver 91, popularized by, here's some little history, Mitsuharu Misawa. I first saw this move on January 20th, 1997. They even put it in WWF WrestleMania 2000. Okay? The Tiger Driver 91 is my all-time favorite finisher. I've always said that finisher should never be kicked out of because of the aura behind it and the person who was. Okay? For my gamers, Mitsuharu Misawa, for my fighting game people, Mitsuharu Misawa is the reason why King in Tekken exists. Because King is based off Tiger Mask, who Misawa once wrestled as. Okay? The Tiger Driver 91 is life to me. And the fact that MJF didn't kick out of it made me a completely happy man. I have no problem with Will Ospreay using the move. I'm kind of selfish. Like, I don't want to see that move being kicked out of. But Ospreay deserved that pop. I'm happy for the fact that he's kind of gotten that pop and the Tiger Driver's aura has kind of been sealed and protected. What I want to see, though, is what are we going to do once it's time to move Ospreay into AEW World Championship territory? Like, he's going to have a good run with the belt, but I want to see him eventually win the big one. I don't consider this the big one. I don't.
Oh, yeah, but you're gonna crawl before you run, and that's where he's at. Because it's obvious he could have been booked in the title match, but then it's like, why? You're just giving it to him. You know what I mean? The struggle, the chase, it's gonna be there, especially now we move into the main event. But
he's a good chaser. He's a good title chaser.
What transpired there is gonna dictate a lot of things, and Will Ospreay eventually is gonna be in line to be a title contender. You know what I mean? And
I actually kind of want to see him as a double champion. Like, I want to see him hold the AEW World title and then the championship he has now.
If he has it, like, he don't have to lose it. He'll gives it up. I'd like to see that. You know what I mean? He don't have to lose it. But like a wrestler, I don't think he got that aura to be carrying different belts. You know what I mean? And
you don't think
I don't know who does nowadays. The last one was Roman Reigns, and Kenny Omega until they fucked it up. And until they fucked it up, but nobody should be carrying two belts. You know what I mean? Because it's not like it was. You need, I don't know, spread the love. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of talent out there that will benefit of having a belt around them, on their shoulders and their waist, you know what I mean? So, that's what I, would like to see if it happens. But eventually, Will Ospreay will be holding that title.
Oh, it's coming, and I'm ready for it. And at one point, Will Ospreay, I disliked him wholeheartedly, but he grew on me, and I'm continuously rooting for him now. There are still some things I don't like with his wrestling style, but I have to also let me explain. So I hate the fighting spirit thing. I fucking hate it.
Well, that's New Japan shit.
Right, but again,
so it's not where you're from, it's where you at. So he had to account to that. Now he's moving to the States. Now you can see his mic work. You could see he could go in the ring. Like, I think he had done a lot since that match with Vader. You know what I mean? Since they all choreographed all that shit. My dude been putting work, and I think he got a lot of stops under his belt now. You know what I mean? So
right, that's fine. I ain't got no problem with that. My thing is that if I give you a German suplex, you're not about to pop up and hit me with a fucking hidden blade. Fuck all that shit. I hate that shit. I think it's ridiculous. I think it kills the aspect of someone. If I drop you on your head, you're not realistically getting up. Someone German suplexes you, I don't care how much adrenaline you got, you're going down.
But is it okay if Kenny Omega does it?
No, it's not okay if he does it either. I just don't like it in general. Yeah. I don't like it in general. I don't like anybody who does that shit. Now, if we're having a match, like, here's an example. If we're having a match and it starts off like that, okay, that's fine. But if it's late in the match, both of you guys are fatigued and tired, and you get hit with a German suplex, and you pop up and hit a hit, no. Fuck all that. Absolutely not. I ain't a fan of that shit. But what I am a fan of is the fact that he cares a lot about setting an example for how a superstar should act, especially for coming to AEW. Even him losing to Swerve, like, that was pretty big for Swerve to beat someone like Ospreay. And then as we move into the main event, there was one other thing that I forgot to talk about. The return. This is just brief, ladies and gentlemen. It's been 400 days. Finally got the return of Jamie Hayter, and I think, like, this is pretty big in my opinion. It's been about 400 days. And it was nice to see Jamie. Just nice to see her. You could obviously tell that she was ready to be back. I don't really know as far as, like, what's going to happen with her or where she should go.
You're going to catch her on Rampage.
Rampage?
You know,
Rampage or Collision?
Huh?
Rampage or Collision or Dynamite? I don't know. Probably Rampage, I would say. But
yeah, she's just going to be stepping stone to somebody else, like like what's gonna happen now. Like, she could have perhaps come out when in the Monet Britt match, you know what I mean, or the Tony Storm. She's been there, but I don't know how to book the woman over there, you know what I mean, because you got Thunder Rosa and you know what I mean, and not on a match. I don't know, Jamie Hayter. Like, I liked her when she was coming up. It's like, oh, there's something about this girl, you know what I mean? And they seem that too. But some days are hard. Just get out of there as soon as you can. That's right. Just let's see what happens. You know, I hate her, but it's unfortunate. You know, I mean, she's gonna be a butt of a lot of memes and jokes. And WWE, NXT, come here, go there. They don't know how to book their woman.
Hey, Hook, if you're watching this, which you probably are not, Cheech wants you to bulk up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bulk up, little nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, Hook, man. Don't worry about what Cheech is saying, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Just bulk up and go to NXT, man.
There you go.
All right. Let me change the beat on this one because this shit's about to get crazy.
Yeah. So, on a nice little switch like we were talking about, but this is the main one. This was the talk of the fucking weekend. This was it. The whole bag of chips.
Go ahead,
career versus title. The final pound down. It was perfectly promoted. You know what I mean? You thought, can this be it? You know what I mean? Then once you see his family there, oh shit. Well, nah, these motherfuckers know wrestling. They know how to get you. You know what I mean?
Motherfuckers
Family said, oh, he probably losing. You know what I'm saying? That shit was fucking crazy. It was like
Wrong.
And honestly,
He ain't lying.
you know it about him. What a match. What a fucking match. The entrances, don't get me wrong, bro. They came out, oh, it's final countdown. I'm fucking mopping, you know, for those who know me, I'm always cleaning. Fucking, I stood still. I'm like, damn, this is kind of dope. You know what I mean? Everybody, whatever. Then, you know, just a few weeks ago, I was, you know, the whole Culture Network, we were at a West Side Gun. He'll Have Eyes too. We got to see them perform that song. Flash Garment, Bum B, West Side Gun, and Swerve. And to see them, you know, they talked about it. That's when they announced it. You know what I mean? Like, yo, we're going to be bum, 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 which it made fucking perfect sense. You have it under your lap, right there on your lap. Why not use it? Well, you know, one of the fucking dope-ass fucking entrances, you know what I mean? I haven't seen in a minute. And I'm like, vibing. Like, oh, shit, this is dope. But it was kind of like, fuck. Who's house, Swerve house, but the reaction, like you could see people was cheering, but then they were booing. You know what I mean? Like Swerve was like 50-50. And back in the day, it wasn't no problem with Stone Cold. Stone Cold could do that. You know what I mean? And he was still cheer. But now over here, it's like, oh, we like him, but boo, we still boo him because he still do shit. You know what I mean? But man, what a fucking match, bro.
so listen, I was shook. I ain't gonna lie, bro, because I'm like, damn, bro, his family's right there, his kids, his wife is right there. It almost looked like a funeral, like he was going to a funeral, like it was like a swan song. And you know, it reminded me of like the Ali versus George Foreman fight, because like everybody was like, yo, Swerve is unstoppable, blah, 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 blah. This kind of reminded me of like Ali and Foreman. And Swerve has a lot to give AEW. And he just, I think recently just signed an extension with him, if I'm not mistaken. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this match was excellent. I was very happy with the story that they told, even with like bringing Brian's neck into the equation. Like, can he continue? Like, is he going to be able to deal with this? Like, just ended. He took multiple house calls, multiple. And this shit was written in cinematic fashion. And the next thing you know, it had a, like, funny enough, it kind of also ended the same way that WrestleMania 30 ended for Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, literally 10 years ago.
Literally. And that was just crazy poetic. And
makes sense.
Swerve, he did something that I loved, like when he was stomping on Bryan, when he was busted open, he's doing it in front of his family, and he's like, I'm like, oh, he was working. Like, if I'm gonna give this title up, like if I'm gonna give this title up, I'm gonna get everything out of it.
Bro, he did everything he was supposed to do to get an attention. You know what I mean? Show Rocky Marciano. Oh, God. No, but definitely, brother, that, like you said, him stopping him, looking at towards the family, like, that's healing 101. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean right there. The growth from Killshot, all everything that he could do, you know, grow up, put on some weight. You know what I mean? Like, this dude has arrived, and I think he hasn't even touched the ceiling. That's what's scary. You know what I mean? And they did it perfect. You know what I mean? Because they have a show, I believe, back home where they're from.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You got Nigel McGuinness coming back.
Yeah.
Perfect storm. You know what I mean?
What are you cooking up, Tony Khan?
Yeah. You're gonna put the strap back on him, Swerve. You're gonna keep swerving, and then you're gonna have that one last match Daniel Bryan versus Nigel McGuinness. And it's crazy we talking about that, even though he did win the title, which it makes sense because, you know what I mean, out of the people that, let's say you got CM Punk thinking that he's gonna be the guy, and around that same year, I believe, the next month, he debuted at All Out. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, yeah, he's just another player. But Daniel Bryan, like he said, the last 20 years, he's been the best wrestler in the world. You know what I mean? We just don't. But, you know, he claims it, and a lot of people give him that, you know, accolade, you know, and he's the best in the world. You know what I mean? He's been holding it down. And, bro, it was Sweet Symphony. You know what I mean? Like, they did it right. They're going to run it back, and, you know, we'll see what happens. But, my God, that match was everything, you know, and the full, you know, count. Oh, my God. That shit was crazy.
And another thing is that Birdie Joe had ran into Brie Garcia's arms right after Swerve was yelling at her. Basically, all I could think about was,
what did he say fuck me for?
that's all I could think about. Like, he did such phenomenal work, and with Nigel McGuinness back in the ring and Bryan Danielson, oh my God.
Yeah, I could see that being something down the line. You know what I mean? Because Michael McGuinness, he's not gonna come back full time. That's for sure.
Right.
But that one match with Daniel Bryan, they already been putting the seeds. You know what I mean? So that is coming. But my hat off to Swerve for being the champion that he was. But I believe in my heart of hearts that he'll be getting that belt back. You know what I mean?
Very soon.
Yeah. You know.
You have a firm grasp on the obvious, buddy. You really do.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. I'm good at this shit. You know what I mean?
So overall, that was the pay-per-view. I think we covered about everything, minus what I did see when me and Cheech were setting up the show. I managed to catch Saraya crashing out at the media scrum, just dropping F-bombs everywhere and all that, just saying how she deserves and needs respect. I guess, whatever. Overall, having said all of that, what would you grade All In London?
I said it was a B+.
Yep. I was gonna give it a B+ myself, or an 8 out of 10. Minus Jericho and Hook and the fucking disaster class that Britt Baker put on. And maybe I'd say a couple other things. Overall, I thought this was a great and solid pay-per-view.
Yeah, especially for that Jericho and Hook.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Ain't nobody came to see that shit.
Let me ask you this question. Was it better than SummerSlam?
Come on now. I was there live, baby.
Me too.
Hell no.
Hell motherfucking no, it wasn't. I'm not trying to shit on AEW, but I'm just comparing with All In and SummerSlam. Like, they
you can't compare. No. I mean, me, of course, you know, being there live, it was different. You know what I mean? We literally was there, floor seats. You know what I mean? It was the whole experience. We would have been floor seats at Wembley, the vibe would have been different. You know what I mean? We probably would have thought that it was the greatest shit over because of the reaction of the people. You know what I mean? That's what keep you, you know, in the match. The match could be shitty. I'm going to tell you the first, Hogan versus Warrior. Everybody was standing. But that match, when you watch it, that wasn't nothing like crazy. They didn't do nothing crazy. The same thing with The Rock and Hogan. But the people.
Whoa. Hogan and Rock was not shitty.
No, I'm not saying it was shitty. I'm just saying that they didn't do nothing crazy.
Oh, of course, you don't have to with that kind of match.
Exactly, because I'm telling you, the crowd made that match. The
Yeah,
crowd
but
made that
yeah,
match.
the crowd made that match, but I'm like,
Because if you watch that match, silence, holla at me. You gotta listen to that shit with audio. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of, especially in wrestling, the audio would, you know what I mean, would dictate the match because that's how people reacted. You know what I mean?
And that's the number one thing is that you can watch a lot of matches silent and like without the crowd there. Like the whole purpose is to entertain and keep the crowd invested. As Cheech is basically telling you, this is pure wrestling 1-on-1. This is business. Wholeheartedly speaking, Rock and Hogan at WrestleMania 18, without even trying to talk too much about WWE, because this is mainly about AEW right now. I heard The Miz and Chris Van Vliet say it's the greatest WrestleMania match of all time.
I mean, to him,
and I find it hard to disagree to a standpoint. However, like what I think is the greatest WrestleMania match of all time is going to be entirely different from what you think, what a lot of people think, but my answer never will change. And the whole purpose is to entertain. So as far as All In goes, B+. Definitely a good show. Tony Khan got back into booking mode and doing what needed to be done. A lot of the other things kind of aren't his fault. I will say Jericho and Hook could have been on the 0 hour. We could have switched that match for one of the 0 hour shows, and it probably would have been a better pay-per-view. But again, we don't need to knock AEW because they should not face criticism when they do something right. They only get criticism when they do something extremely wrong. But that's, having said all of that, where do you see this going with Bryan Danielson as the champion now? Like, since we talked about Nigel McGuinness, what ultimately will he?
Now it's legit. Like, you got a legit champion that people know, that people behind him, you know what I mean, marketable, you know what I mean, got a trophy wife, you know what I mean, people know him. Didn't they have a show on A&E? I mean, on E, the Diva or whatever. So he's known. So it's a no-brainer putting the belt on him. So to me, you know, you're gonna ride out all this year out. You know what I mean? Unless Swerve, if they change plans, let's see. But like, I think the Nigel McGuinness, Daniel Bryan, perhaps might be something down the line, like next year. I don't think that's something they're just gonna keep putting little, you know what I mean? What is it? Fuck, I can't get the word. Egg. What the fuck is it?
Tongue tied over there.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? Like when they put little things, you know, the kind of like movies, egg.
Oh, Easter eggs. Easter eggs.
There you go.
Hey, hold on. Time. I gotta cook you real quick. You got Marvel posters behind you.
Yeah, man. Crazy.
I got Marvel posters behind me too.
Yeah. So that right there is gonna happen. It is. They have it in, of course, with you know, Ring of Honor and all this shit. Man, it's gonna be great, man.
It's definitely gonna be great.
It's that time, right?
Yep, I think it's, and now this feels kind of weird, but I feel like JT should be doing this, even though like he normally is like the main person that does this, but things happen.
Simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
All right. I don't actually know what music he uses for it. I know it's like some
No, there's no music. It's just how we vibe, you know, how we feeling at the time, you know, nothing crazy, you know.
This one.
We'll thank everybody for joining us on this lovely All in London recap show. Thank you, Dallas, for holding it down. JT should be coming back, for next show or in the next few weeks. Let's see what happens. But thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Culture Clash.
And I want to say that too much negativity can sometimes put you in a bad spot. But it's all about how you spread the love and the joy. I wanted to introduce you guys to something. There's a book out here that'll change your life. It's called The Secret, and it's by Amanda Byrne. And what it is about, Rhonda Byrne. And what it is about the greatest thing in life that you can control to give you something for your life, and it is the law of attraction. If you think it in your mind, you can see it and hold it in your hand. Think about that.
I know MMA.
Hey.
Everything that you think about deeply in your life, you attract that to you. You might have attracted a new job, new paycheck from a settlement company that you didn't even know about. But always understand that if you keep positivity in your life and you try to make the people around you better, the universe will do the same. And on that note, amen. I'm out. Peace.
Peace out.
Peace out.